Middle MAGA.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes. I am Susanna Gibson, and I'm running for the Democratic nomination in the Virginia House of Delegates in the 50. I didn't touch it. I did not do it.
Breaking news, middlemaga.com is now fully in support of the Democratic Party, and in particular, driven by Susanna Gibson, a Democrat running for this seat in Virginia's House of Delegates. This is the state of Virginia politics. She is alleged, I'm just reading the news, to have performed live online sex acts with her husband and encouraged viewers to tip them for specific requests.
Who is it? Good evening. I'm in love.
She's willing to sacrifice for that seat. Susanna Gibson, a nurse practitioner and mother of two, is said to have streamed these acts on Chatterbait,
Hello, nurse.
a platform known for live streaming of adult content. Archived videos from Chatterbait featuring the couple were found on another site. And let's just say I have independently confirmed. So naturally, if you're at that point of the seediness of the internet, that you're on a site called Chatterbait, because it's masturbate, creative name, it's masturbate but with chatting. So let's call it Chatterbait. There's another site called Recordbeat, basically recording Chatterbait. Once you're in hell, there's a lot of options. And that's just one of those other doors. I've never heard of that site in my life. I've heard of Chatterbait before, but before I had to do research, I was not familiar with it. There's all these different sites to float whatever boats people have got out there. For me, Pornhub is good enough, but if you need Chatterbait, then do Chatterbait. Whatever works for you. But it looks like that was more tailored to what Susanna Gibson's strengths were. The most recent videos were archived on September 30th of last year, 2022. Gibson in the videos can be seen soliciting tips for performing specific acts, which might be against Chatterbait's terms and conditions. There's a lot of weird things about this story. How could soliciting tips be against the terms and conditions of a site that is called Chat Plus Masturbate? Explain that to me. There must be some type of legal reason for that. Isn't that kind of the whole point of the site? I don't know. I'm not an expert in this Chatterbait type of thing, but you do the video and you chat with people, not to just hang out. You're hoping that these people behind the screen put in their credit card and give you money. So she's trying to fund her campaign, allegedly, or fund something, or maybe it's just a kink. Who knows? In some videos, though, she mentions raising money for a good cause. I'm sure it's for a good cause. Who doesn't want to talk about school choice with somebody who's showing their ass on the internet every day? Literally. That's a tough transition, isn't it? If you donated to her while her ass was up, and then later on she's in a suit or whatever, suit pants, she's wearing professional outfit, and she's talking about Medicare for all. It's a tough switch over, I would say, if that's how you know her. Gibson's response to this controversy, Gibson responded to the exposure of the videos as an illegal invasion of her privacy designed to humiliate her and her family. No, you did that, not me. You're triggering me now. Gibson said that the videos leaking of her recording herself and her husband, who looks like Beto O'Rourke for some reason. I was like, Beto, okay. No, it's not. Her husband is, I don't even know his name. It's irrelevant. My support is behind her. She has my firm support. That nigga, I don't know who he is, don't care. So there she is. She had that response to say, wait a second, you can't share the two degenerates online. Why can't I? I did not record these videos, ma'am. You put them up there. You made money off of it. You're a public figure. Why is it my fault? I think you showed up well in them if you want my critique. She stated that her political opponents and their Republican allies are using this as a tactic to silence women when they voice their opinions. No, I don't think that's what they're doing. I think in part, some people are really interested in seeing the product, and I think it's just a salacious headline. Your videos were on mute when I was watching them, so you're already silenced in my book. Daniel P. Watkins, Gibson's lawyer, mentioned that distributing the videos might be a violation of the state's revenge porn law. I have 2 middle fingers for you, sir. He also stated that they are working closely with law enforcement on this matter. Why? Is she turning herself in as a fortified, confirmed hooker? What else are you going to law enforcement for? We are in la la land. This heifer put, and the husband is involved in this too, put videos of herself on there performing for everyone. We download the videos or look at the videos or do research to make sure that you're providing people with accurate information. Doing the hard work. I'm doing the hard work here. I'm the one sacrificing. I could be asleep right now, and I'm the one that had to do this research. I'm the victim here. Instead, no, I'm the criminal. Back in the day, you would have been called a hoe. Now, I'm the one that has to worry about getting locked up. What are you knocking on my door for? She put it on Chatterbait. What do you want from me? And by the way, I was just doing research anyway. I'm not redistributing anything. I'm sharing the news. Gibson is competing against Republican David Owen, a retired home builder. He's boring. I'm with the Dems now. I don't need a Republican retired home builder. In the upcoming elections on November 7th. This is actually a big election. In response to the news, David Owen was like, my name's Bennett and I ain't in it. That'd be funny if they looked at David's weblogs and it was like, Chatterbait. He was probably just doing Oppo research. That's why. David's like, I don't know nothing about this. Dave was like, I don't know nothing about not me. Probably, it could be true. I'm not saying it's not. The Republican operative who informed the Post about the videos denied any connection to the Owen campaign. I'm sure there was no connection there. Probably 6 degrees of separation. The outcome of the election could influence Governor Glenn Youngkin's conservative political agenda, including abortion restrictions. To no surprise to anyone, Gibson has raised more money than Owen. She has raised more funds than Owen. Shocker. But she spent a significant portion during the primary against fellow Democrat Bob Shippey. She had to burn a lot of that money that she earned on the block, the digital block, to get out the primaries. Her campaign focuses on preserving abortion rights, banning assault weapons, reducing the cost of living, and environmental protection, along with getting your jollies off. That's a well-rounded package. Gibson's campaign website showcases her professional background in the medical field. Everybody has their type of stories and fantasies, so that fits with that too. Then she can slide on over to the prescription drug issue, her education, and her personal life. I am fully on board with Democrats. You remember Tiara Mack, the Rhode Island state, I believe she was a state senator in Rhode Island. The Democrat Party's lit. I will take no other answer other than, yeah, they are.
Senator Mack.
They'll do whatever it takes. They will stand on their head
Senator
and twerk.
Mack.
There's a lot to appreciate here in this video from Tiara Mack.
Vote Senator Mack.
Susanna Gibson. They're not afraid to do what it takes to win. That takes talent.
Senator Mack.
Can you do that? She's pretty thick, too. And I think she passes the test. She's not fat. She's thick. There's a lot there. Remember Katie Hill? Katie Hill had that controversy. We call her Katie Threesome Hill. Do you? I'm just letting you know why I'm trying to back up my assertion that the Democrat Party is lit. Now, don't get me wrong. The Republicans are lit, too. Don't get me wrong. Republicans are lit, too. But Dems go harder. Remember, Madison Cawthorn exposed how lit the Republican Party was.
Sexual perversion that goes on in Washington. Being a young guy in Washington, with the average age is probably 60 or 70. And I look at all these people, a lot of them that I've looked up to through my life. I've always paid attention to politics, guys. Then all of a sudden you get invited to, hey, we're going to have kind of a sexual get-together at one of our homes. You should come. And I'm like, what did you just ask me to come to? Yeah. And then you realize they're asking you to come to an orgy. Yeah. Or the fact that there's some of the people that are leading on the movement to try and remove addiction in our country. And then you watch them do a key bump of cocaine right in front of you. And it's, wow, this is wild. Sexual perversion that goes on in Washington. Being a young guy in Washington, with the average age is probably 60 or 70. And I look at all these people.
Who doesn't appreciate at 11:41 Mountain Time the visualization of Mitch McConnell in the middle of an orgy?
Did you hear the question, Senator? Running for re-election in 2026? All right, I'm sorry, you all. We're going to need a minute.
A lot of them that I've looked up to through my life, I've always paid attention to politics, guys that, then all of a sudden you get invited to.
See, he's a young guy. Looked up to him my whole life. He's talking about Lindsey Graham and who knows what he's getting into. I wouldn't be surprised if, let me pause, Tim Scott paused, allegedly, not allegedly, pause. They're all in on this stuff. And what Madison didn't understand was when they ask you to go to the blow and orgy party, you have to go to the blow and orgy party. Because if they ask you to go to the blow and orgy party and you don't go to the blow and orgy party, then you're going to have a video come out with you jumping on a bed on top of a dude and boom, and then you're done. Your political career is done before it starts.
A young guy in Washington, with the average age is probably 60 or 70. And I look at all these people, a lot of them that
Yeah, who doesn't want that visualization? Probably walk in, it's Nancy Pelosi. We're at the channel, we good with that one. But then who else comes in? Dianne Feinstein, Chuck Grassley. They go into one of the parties and he's like, the blow's on the table, the door opens up. He's like, is that Chuck Grassley?
Being a young guy in Washington, with the average age is probably 60 or 70. I look at all these people, a lot of them that I've looked up to through my life, I've always paid attention to politics, guys that, then all of a sudden you get invited to, hey, we're going to have a sexual get-together at one of our homes. You should come. And I'm like, what did you just ask me to come to? Yeah. And then you realize they're asking you to come to an orgy. Yeah. Or the fact that there's some of the people that are leading on the movement to try and remove addiction in our country. And then you watch them do, a key bump of cocaine right in front of you. And it's like, wow, this is wild. The perversion that goes on in Washington.
Did you see the look on his face when he said I forgot what he said, but this dude, whoever is interviewing him, was like, whoa. He was like, whoa. He tried to play it off the first time, but then the second time he couldn't play it off. He was like, whoa, this is deep. Let me bring this back.
Guys that, then all of a sudden you get invited to, oh, hey, we're going to have a sexual get-together at one of our homes. You should come. And I'm like, what did you just ask me to come to? Yeah. And then you realize they're asking you to come to an orgy. Yeah. Or the fact that there's some of the people that are leading on the movement to try and remove addiction in our country. And then you watch them do, a key bump of cocaine right in front of you.
I don't know who this dude is, but he was like, bruh, I have no idea who this dude is. But he's scared of the motherfucker right now. He's scared. Bruh, don't come on my podcast and violate the bro code. You're putting all of our lives in danger. I don't know. Right after this interview, I guarantee you, he called whatever connects he had in D.C. and said, I had nothing to do with that. He called Chuck Schumer. He called Marsha Blackburn. He called all of them. He was like, that was not me. He called Mike Braun. He called, I'm just trying to name as many as I can. He called them all. Like, he called the senators. He called all of them in. It was like, you know what he was talking about there, that violation of the bro code? They ain't have nothing to do with me. So I fully support Democrats because of the way they rock and roll.
Middle MAGA.